So we back. Thank you for joining me again. This is Donna, and we're coming back with Kingdom Crafted, and we're going to talk about today systematic weapons. These systematic weapons are things that are used to keep us down, to keep us in a state of mind where we're not progressing. I know y'all see a different background. The children having movie time up there in the living room. I really wanted to get this film out for y'all, so we're here in my room. I'm not going to turn around because I don't want y'all to see my bed. It's made and all that stuff, but I don't want to take y'all through my bed. It's like my private sanctuary a little bit. You got to love me a little bit for me to bring you down here and see what all the things we got going on down here. So just in case y'all wondering why I done switched up scenery, that's why. But anyway, we're going to get into systematic weapons that are utilized to keep us oppressed. So one of the big ones that's being utilized right now, the real big ones, is I mentioned it before in a previous video when we talked about black men. We have a place where the government is allowing black women to get ahead. We are getting ahead because here's the thing. Once we move ahead and we get our finances to a certain level, it's going to be hard for our men to play catch up. And oftentimes, finances are important, and they are also important to men because it gives them a piece of identity. The provider in them that needs to be there won't be there for us because we've taken off to the bag. What they also know is a lot of us are single women. So while we're getting to the bag and they giving us money and grants to do all these great and marvelous things out in the world, who's raising our children? That means that our children are being home while we got 2 or 3 jobs trying to build an empire. What are we supposed to do? I ain't figured that part out yet. But given the opportunities that we have for financial advancement, we're taking them, which is leaving our children motherless, which leaves our sons motherless, which leaves our daughters motherless. So we don't have the eyes on them that we would need to have on them because we're out in the fields getting to the bag with the grant money that they've given black women to be all that we can be, right? They don't have other women, minority businesses, grants and funds and all of that type of stuff. I'm lying, they do, but it's not advertised like it's advertised for us. I'm leaning over like this, right, because I told y'all before I got a little piece of stuff, and I know it's going to be some people's husbands and stuff that's going to be on here, and I ain't trying to have all this goodness all up in their face. I'm trying to respect it. So if y'all wonder why I'm always looking like this right here, linked over, whatever, I'm trying, listen, I'm top heavy, okay? I don't want to have all that all up in the camera. And it's going to overtake the presence. So I don't want to do that. So this is why y'all get a little piece of this. Okay? So let's move on to how there aren't many opportunities for our men to excel beyond athletic, entertainment, and that's probably in the streets, is the doors that they have open to our young men. It's interesting enough to see how that matriculates into our community, into our cultures, and they make huge amounts of dollars off of us. There was a time where we were our own farmers and our own librarians and our own pharmacists and our own everything. We had our own schools, churches, and so forth. When integration came into play and segregation was no longer, it seems like we lost our way with that. Growing up, if you're from Highland Park, you remember this. There was a grocery store on Brooklyn Park Boulevard. I'm lying, it's not a grocery store. It was a gas station, and it was called Spurs. This was in the 80s, y'all. Mr. Spurs owned that gas station, and you can go in there and buy penny candy or whatever. But it was owned by a black man. And then on North Avenue, there were all black businesses up and down that area. So what they did to those black owners of those businesses was they increased the real estate taxes on that. So it caused them to not to be able to afford to maintain their businesses because they didn't own the business. So when you don't own the building, I'm sorry, they didn't own the building. So when you don't own a building or a structure or something to that nature, it becomes a place where it puts you in a position to be at the mercy of someone else. So what happens is during that time, they increase the taxes on that, they increase their property values, and essentially the black people couldn't maintain because the rents increased significantly to reflect that. A lot of times they call that gentrification. When they move, they increase the property values, move you out of that area, and move other more economic people into that area as well. So you got a whole lot of redlining, a whole lot of stuff that goes on. So if you're not educating yourself on these weapons that are being formed against you, how will you know if they shall or shall not prosper? You have to know what these weapons are so you can fight them. You know what the tools you need to do in order to get around that. So simple ownership of those buildings would have put us in a position to maintain and own it. That means that the increase would have probably more than likely gone into the prices that were being charged for those particular stores. It was barber shops, it was restaurants, it was gas stations, it was laundromats. The ice cream shop that used to be on Brooklyn Park Boulevard was owned by a black man there. I forget his name. Y'all know his name. Drop down in the comments. Says Mr. James. That's what it was. Mr. James Ice Cream Shop. My daddy used to take us down there, and we used to go get whatever kind that we wanted he made, and my daddy would always get rum raisin. It had a little piece of rum in it. Think it had a whole lot of rum in it. It was real good. I used to sneak and eat some, like a spoonful, and hope he didn't find out, which I know he did. Interesting, ain't it? We was in there getting towed up for grown. My dad used to say, this is grown people ice cream. Okay, well, don't leave it in the refrigerator. Have a deep freezer somewhere in the basement with the door locked. Nevertheless, there was a lot of like salons and barbershops, and it was booming with black businesses on North Avenue and down Brooklyn Park Boulevard during that time. My grandfather funded a lot of the businesses that were on 2nd Street, which was known as our area's Black Wall Street here. They survived a lot of the Great Depression because we pulled our monies together. So when we're looking at the systematic weapons that we're using, it's deeper than just, oh, you're being racially profiled. There are all kind of avenues and angles in which they come in to oppress you. We have it where that's going to a little piece of colorism. Colorism is another form of a systematic weapon. They made it seem like you were being targeted if your skin was darker, and you were being more privileged if your skin was lighter. Well, they designed it that way such that it would cause division. And it has. Here in Black History Month, I've seen a couple of YouTubers go back and forth. I mean, these women tore each other up. Do you hear me? Tore each other up. And what is the reason? I mean, why, sis? Why are y'all talking to each other like that? It's not even necessary. Not at all. If you didn't like what someone said, just ignore it. Like, I'm not finna pay no whole lot of foolishness to no whole lot of stuff these people got to say. They not in here with me. Okay? So, that really disturbed my soul when they use things to pin against us. They already pinning us against our men. They're pinning the men against us. They are making it appear to be lifting us up in certain ways, and just acknowledging some of the contributions that we are giving to society. But we've been giving contributions since we got here. That ain't nothing new. So you want to give me a round of applause over 400 years later. Yes, we'll accept it, but on the fact of the pain that you caused too. On the fact that you planted these seeds and the drugs and things into our communities such that we kill each other. And just know too, my people, we ain't the only ones that was on drugs. Understand that the system wasn't designed, the government system that helps us with like welfare, Section 8, EBC. It's not enough of us to sustain those programs. Please don't be fooled and think that only black people own these programs. It wasn't designed for us. We're utilizing it, but we're not utilizing it to its advantage. If that's something that you be interested in learning more about, of how to get off of those programs and how to phase yourself to a higher economic status and become more financially independent, let me know. Drop down in the comment section and let me know. And I'll make a video about that as well later on. But right now, we're just going to do some glossing over some of the things that we recognize are systematically done to oppress and keep us hindered. We get down into hair textures and all of that. Yes, this is my hair. I have a black mama, and we don't know what my daddy is. I know him, but he black too. Shh. It's just, there was definitely some DNA mixing of the races during that time. So we have it where that goes back and forth about that. No, my skin color doesn't determine my blackness. You got some people that are darker than me that still don't know what being black really actually means. So we're not going to go back and forth about the colorism thing. Are there people out here that are my complexion and that are lighter than I am that seem to come off a lot more cockier, a lot more slick out the mouth, and they may say some really derogatory things against our fellow more melanated peers and sisters and brothers and family? Yes, there is that. But you have to understand, too, that that's a place of pain, of rejection. And then I think it's Milo's, correct me if I'm wrong, drop down in the comment section for all those psychology majors. But Milo's hierarchy, I believe, of the basic human needs. And one of those needs is on that pyramid is acceptance. We weren't accepted, y'all. So for the fact that a lot of you think that we actually weren't. We were stuck between the rock and the hard place. I can tell you this firsthand, because even though I'm going around my 42nd lap around a good sun, even in my generation, my mother wanted me to be well-rounded and cultured. So I studied dance in a professional dance studio for 13 years. My sister and I were the only people of color until there was this other young lady of color. And it's funny because she ended up going to high school with me. And I think her name is Tia. She's like a year or two older than me. It was just us three. And so when I went there, it was, well, I can't talk to you because you a Nick, right? So I would go to school and they was like, you white. I was lost as a child. Which way, what? Well, what am I? So I can't go over here and talk to these people. They don't want to talk to me because I'm black. I go over here with these people. They say I'm not black. So what am I really? And so we get placed in this teeter-totter land. So when we come off and we just snapping and we say real derogatory things, please understand it's coming from a place of pain. I promise you it is. I have not met not one lighter complected black woman or man that does not have some sort of complex, an issue, a mental disturbance, an emotional disturbance behind their skin color that was generated from that. So that's another systematic weapon that they putting, and they pinning us against each other. We're not the enemy. And as soon as we can collectively come together, there'll be a lot of things we can do different, y'all. I promise you. But we got to know these system issues that we're having. Because we're not in a place to financially own anything, Kanye said it best. They made us hate ourselves and love their wealth. So when we get a little piece of change, literally a little piece of change to the grand scheme of things, what looks to be a whole lot of money to us. How many of y'all know $10,000 is not a lot of money? How many of you know $50,000 is not a lot of money? How many of you know $100,000 is not a lot of money? It's a start, but it's not a lot of money. So how do you increase but you can take those numbers and increase them greater. Instead of taking the money that all the pandemic money that was handed out, all the unemployment money that was handed out, and people catching up on their bills and all of that. But some of us might not have had that many bills to catch up on. So what you can do, instead of buying those Jordans, buying that jewelry, buying that Versace, buying all this name brand stuff, getting new ink, getting new weaves, getting new braids. My daughter do braids. I'm not trying to shut her business down, but I'm just saying it's a whole lot of money to go into getting those styles and doing those things. Invest financially in your financial health. Instead of taking your children and telling them when they turn 18, they got to go. They got to get their own place and show them what their responsibility looks like. If you're going to tell them that you're going to accept however many dollars from them, don't put it towards the rent that you was already going to be paying. Don't put it towards the groceries unless it's their groceries that they contributed to because they didn't eat some extra shit. Okay? Then they can be self-sufficient in that era. But the goal is to allow the next generation to start off with the silver spoon that you didn't have to put in their mouth. You ain't got to do it. Let them go out and work and pay their own way. Now, ain't nobody telling you let them sit in your house and do nothing. Say that. Not at all. But if they're working and they're being productive, afford them the opportunity to be homeowners, to invest in a business, to do things that will grow the wealth for them that you didn't necessarily have to contribute to. That's where we want to get our people to be. See? Show them, son, daughter, learn a trade that you can take anywhere you want to go and still show up and camp out in Texas and open up shop there because your skill and your trade allows you to do such. Be able to provide from your family anywhere. Don't take your money and spend it on a brand new car that is really out of your financial reach. How many of y'all know exactly how much y'all spend in toilet paper, toothpaste, toothbrushes, soap, miscellaneous, just little things? All of these things add up, family. They all add up. So we have to prepare ourselves for the mental to receive financial freedom. Financial freedom comes with a financial sacrifice that we can't spend our money on all these things that don't matter. When you drive that car off the lot, you done ate $2,000-$3,000. Why you giving money away like that? Get a car to go from A to B. If you want to drive in luxury because you're going out of town, you want to floss, rent a car. They don't even have to rent a car stickers on the car no more. Don't I know you renting it? Cut it out. Get to a financial place where you can afford to buy the car straight up, straight out, and don't have no note on it. Why are you giving people money? You ain't got to give them people money. Versace don't know you. Versace ain't got no community development center in your damn neighborhood. Let's be clear. They do not. So family, take that money and invest in you. You are your biggest gift. Figure out if you are the lady that cook her ass off, baby, make some dinners and sell them. Open up your little what you call it, the little truck, food truck. Do that. If you was the candy lady in your neighborhood, be the candy lady and then get the ice cream truck and go around. Create the businesses, the iceberg lady. Create ain't got to be Italian ice. Why it can't be black ice? Why it can't be that straight Kool-Aid with all the 3 pounds of the sugar in it? The kind that start with a D that your grandma used to have in the kitchen. Don't get that, because that's going to kill us, y'all. Figure out some creative ways to make some healthier frozen treats for us, okay? Because we still going to come out there and get these frozen treats because they real good. I'm just saying, FYI. And just take the opportunity to learn what home equity lines of credit are. I'm going to throw some things out you, and I want you to go out there and research that. Go and buy a property that's under property value. You don't have to be a homeowner and let that be your first property. You can have your first property be an investment property, but own something. Take that money and own something. Invest in your education about how to invest in real estate. Real estate always going to be the number one. Always and forever. Will that always be? It always has been. It always will be. And I'm not saying to be an agent and sell it. I'm saying be the investor. That's your long-term money. That's your retirement plan for those people who are business owners. There's Trades, Wall Street Trapper. Go check him out. Trade and Travel, that's another good one. Go check her out. These black people that's in the game, in the stock market, flipping and listen, they get into the bag at home with a little bit of money. And they're going to show you how to get that money legally. So you got to be able to trust in us as we set up the laws. It ain't meant for y'all. Stop. They said the weed is legal. That don't mean you can ride through smelling like skunk. You can't do that. That's called driving under the influence. Driving under the influence don't mean just alcohol, baby. You can't smoke that shit at home if that's what you gonna do. And go to sleep. Or leave. Just don't be out here smoking it all out in the public. Okay? Ain't nobody knocking what you do. If the herbs heal your body, smoke them. Just don't be out here doing it and getting caught and getting locked up. We need you here. So there's all kind of, don't know the value. If you have a property that your grandparents left you or your mom and them left you or your other brother, cousin, anybody left you, learn what that value is and don't just get it away. I've seen investors come into our community and really take $150,000 house bad for 30 because it's been paid for, and they giving the people $30,000 to cash out. That just means I'm gonna give you $30,000 for it. Our people, that's rare that we see a check for $30,000. Then they tell you, find you somewhere you want to move. I'll pay for it for a year. Don't y'all know that ain't but another $15,000 to $17,000. So now what, they 45, maybe 50, maybe $60,000 in. Then they go spend another $100,000 to develop the property. They might take a year to do it, and the money might be tied up for a year. So what? You in $160,000. At the end of that year, they're gonna turn and sell that property for $475,000, $525,000 in a year's time. And then go take the proceeds that they got that from and put it back into another property and do it all over again. And then once they get enough equity and they go put it in an equity trust where they can pull the money out every 5 years and don't pay taxes on it. Come on, people. I need you to get educated, my people, so that we know the weapons that are formed. They want the women to go out here and succeed. Women, succeed in your single season. Succeed. Get out here, get to the bag, do all the things in your single motherless seasons. But don't sacrifice your children or your family for the bag. See, when you walk in your purpose, then that's sure where you find your spouse. So what happens is y'all walking in the same purpose. So you're developing the same things. Then when it's time for you to retreat and go and have these kids and nurture them and bring them up in the way, when they grow up and they get gone, you can jump back in the game because you ain't never really missed a step because you always been there because he there and y'all walking in the same purpose. See how that works? That's called family. Family. Contribute to the community. We should be pooling our monies together to increase and rebuild our Black Wall Streets. We had them before. If you're from this Richmond, Virginia area, you know that 2nd Street and down there in Jacksonville was an historic landmark of well-to-do Black businesses. I was honored and privileged to be the granddaughter of one of those people who loaned money out for those businesses on that street to be to get started and up and running and continue to grow. And if they ever needed more money or needed to be loaned any more money, they came to see my granddaddy. I watched them do it as a little girl, and I thought it was I really didn't think too much of it, and I thought that was just the way, because Maggie Walker also was from this area, and she had a black bank too. That's still in business today. Now they got a different kind of name on it, but it's still the same. It's still the same Penny Savings and Trust that it was back then. Founded by a black woman. Okay, so we can do it, people. Don't let these systematic weapons cause division. The prison system to cause division. If we pull together as a community and get our men uplifted, healed, sit on the couch, all of it connects, y'all, all of it. The system can only work if it gets your mind. If you won't allow it to take your mind and your thought process and really focus on what it is and go sit down somewhere and get the help that we need, baby, and get it from us, because only we can understand it. You can't teach me nothing if you ain't never experienced what I've experienced and you want to teach me about living in the skin I'm in. You can't do it. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. So I want you to really sit down and get some thought about these system weapons that I use. So the real estate will get you up out of here. They will, because you don't own it, your business will crumble. You have to do the SWOT analysis on your business so you know what your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats are. They're going to keep your business alive, thriving, and well. You're going to want to know, please pay your taxes. You can't circumvent that. So do it legitly, so once you get your business together, it's there. If you are coming up out of prison or doing other things, go get your CDL. Take the monies that you're saving. Forget all this flashy jewelry and all the cars and all the clothes. Don't nobody give a damn about that stuff. Not in the grand scheme of things. Don't fall victim to that. We don't own any of that. That stuff ain't coming back into our community and helping us do nothing. When the rent is late or your baby needs some Pampers, Versace ain't finna give you a damn thing, I promise. Okay? So second that. Slide all that to the side until you build your wealth. Then go, if you need luxury, then go get that. But it's not necessary. You can look good. And I'm talking about damn good, and don't have to spend money on a whole lot of money on no clothes and miscellaneous things when your bank account is empty or has a few coins in it. We want to take that opportunity to utilize all that money that we giving these white designers, and everybody who ain't make the stuff for us now want to contribute to us because they understand we the one buying up all their stuff. How is our dollar so strong and we don't have no money? Let that sink down in your spirit, because it's a systematic weapon, y'all. They know. You remove your responsibility as an athlete. You remove your responsibility once you become an entertainer and not pour back into your community and not be an example through your behavior. And I understand that this is being done because there aren't any examples, or you may not have had an example of what that might look like. But I challenge you to go back to your communities and see what it is that the children need. Y'all talk about Master P all day long. Master P out here helping folks, giving us opportunities, creating our own. Why are we paying Asians to make ramen noodles when Master P said, we the ones buying up all the ramen noodles, let's make our own damn ramen noodles. We out here the ones buying Lay's and everybody else and hot Cheetos, let's make our own chips. If we gonna buy it, let's make our own. We the ones that the grandma gonna put bleach in the dish liquid. And if you take a bath, she might put a cap full of that too, as long as depending on how long you been outside. Between that and alcohol, you gonna get a splash of something that's gonna sting you a little bit. Sting you too. I'm just saying, those who grew up in the country, y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. It's cultural. Keep our culture together. It's okay. We can do this. This us. Ain't nobody drinking the bleach water. We washing our tails and washing our dishes. Anyway, so just sit back and think about opportunities that you can do with the gifts that you have and pull your monies together. We have to unify. Nobody's going to give us anything, but we damn sure can create our own. If there's something that you want me to continue to talk about or dig a little bit deeper into it, if you want to see or learn or want me to pull some research on how the people have done it in the past, I definitely can do that. There was an organization, a benevolent organization that my grandfather was a part of. It was called the Counts. I do have a picture of them from the 1930s. And it was probably about 11 black men, and they pulled their monies together. And what they did was they increased the lending power, and they lent when white folks wouldn't lend to us. Understand the uses of how to use credit cards. Understand that credit cards were not initially designed for consumer use. It was a business type of thing for small businesses to bridge the gap. So it was a loan that was given to them, and it was become a line of credit that was given to them so that it would keep their businesses running through those dry seasons. So if you get a credit card and you have a business idea in mind, learn how to get your credit to a place where you can use your credit cards to start your business, even though the interest rates are really high. But you can pay those with the money it's called using other people's money. Your consumers will be paying your bill. The people who are buying your products will be paying your bill. So essentially, you wouldn't be paying it. But you have to sit down and do the math on all that, sugars. You have to. You have to. You have to analyze what's going on. So don't fall victim to dismantling our households with having children here, there, and everywhere. We can't keep doing that. We can't continue to have children where they're not being brought up in stable house homes. I'm guilty of that. So I'm talking to y'all I'm talking to myself just like I'm talking to y'all. It's imperative, nonetheless. So we have to be mindful of what it is that your children are looking at. I watched something today, and I know y'all gonna know, because Coco Melon is popping in everybody's household that got a child. Trust me, Coco Melon's on that TV. But peep this. Why the only little black boy in Coco Melon, his mama is a doctor, and his daddy do what exactly? His daddy on there, but what did he do? The mama stays showing up in her doctor outfit. But every time I see the daddy, he the daycare teacher. But the white daddy on the show is the hero. That tricked me up a little bit because I like Coco Melon. But pay attention to what they're planting in the minds of your children. Because what that's going to do is role reverse, and that's a systematic weapon, honey. We can't fall victim to that role reverse. That's a single-handed dismantle of the family. And once you destroy the black family, you destroy the city, you destroy the community, you destroy the culture, you destroy it all. And then we become poof, wasteless, useless. Let's get it together. Let's love on each other. It's Black History Month. Cut the colorism out. Own the pain. Let's sit and talk about it. I got a good friend. I think we're going to do, she said she wanted to do about 2020. She said she wanted to do some forums on that. I'm going to get with her. We're going to do some forums right here in Richmond. And we're going to sit and we're going to talk about that colorism thing with each other. And we're going to start one city at a time. One city at a time. Because we got to talk about it and heal this sisterhood and this brotherhood that they got us divided with this color thing. No, we was the Marines. That's all it was. We had to go first. That's all. They just shot us quick. We had to go first and take all the beatings. And once we got through, we supposed to pull y'all through with us. That's how that's supposed to have worked. It used to work like that. It's not working like that now. But we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. One community at a time. One city at a time. One neighborhood at a time. One friendship at a time. We're going to get it done. Until next time, y'all probably come back tomorrow, the day after, or something. I love y'all. We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep it going. I think next we might talk about, we talked a little bit about finance today. Protect your money. Protect your money. Budget your money before your money budgets you. Because when your money budgets you, baby, you're through. Point blank, period. If you want me to dive into that, let me know. I can unpack all that for you. It's okay. We can do that. It's important. I think tomorrow we might talk about sexual responsibility. I think I got to go see what the Holy Spirit tell me to talk about, if I should talk about that one, or if I should come back around and circle back around with something else. We gonna see where this journey take us. I can't wait till next month though, because next month we're gonna dive into some biblical stuff that's gonna be on fire. Y'all, please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. Until the next time, y'all, thank you for coming in, watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm getting old, y'all. I'm getting old. I got to climb up off this floor, okay? Might grab me one of them right there in that corner. Boop. Maybe. I don't know. It's got a little bit of carbs in it. Try not to do it. Pray for me. See y'all later. Bye.